much than sweet and salty. And that's almost nowhere better shown than in Billionaire's bacon. So Billionaire's bacon is basically bacon and brown sugar. The problem is with most of the recipes, you just smush the brown sugar onto the bacon and then you cook it in the oven. The result is you still have greasy bacon and you have a mess to clean up. But with a little bit of technique and a few cool tools, we can tame Billionaire's bacon and make it easy. And then with one optional ingredient, we can make it have an attitude. So this is a two-step process. The first step is to microwave the bacon. So I like to start with a rectangular glass dish because it contains the bacon fat. Put in 2 layers of paper towel and then lay your bacon out in one level. And I'm going to make this with 8 slices of bacon. So just lay them out here. Don't overlap them. Then put on another 2 layers of paper towel because you really want to absorb as much of the grease as possible. Do another layer of bacon. Top this with another 2 layers of paper towel. Then, depending on the power of your microwave, you can choose your cooking time. When we cook bacon, normally we cook it at a minute per slice. Because we want to slightly undercook the bacon for this, I use 3/4 of a minute per slice. So for 8 slices of bacon, I'll cook this in the microwave for 6 minutes. When the bacon is done in the microwave, then bring it over, and now comes step 2. So the first thing you want to do is get rid of your paper towels. And then take your bacon, and we like to use this fine tong because you've got a lot more control. But you see, it's partial. The bacon is partially cooked, but there's still a little bit of fat left that will interact with the brown sugar to give you the crust and crunch that you want. So I like to do 4 at a time, put them together, and then I do this so that we don't have quite as much sugar, which makes it just a little bit healthier. But take the sugar, and I've mixed a little bit of chipotle powder in to give it just a little bit of a kick. So take it, put it on, pat it down a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect coverage. Turn it over. By this time it's cool enough that you don't need the tongs. Do the back side. Once again, pat the sugar on, and then just lay them out. And we like to use the silicone roasting rack because the cleanup is so much easier than using a regular rack. And this rack will actually fit all 8 slices. So now you do the same thing with the second group of 4. And you put the other 4 pieces onto the rack. If you want to do more, you can actually take a half-sheet pan and use 2 of these racks. As you've noticed, we put parchment paper underneath. This helps amazingly with the cleanup. Now you take this and you put it into a 425-degree oven for about 6 minutes. After 6 minutes, take it out of the oven, and at that point I like to turn it over just to drain the fat a little bit. It is not as crisp as I'd like yet, but it generally will crisp up as it cools a little bit. So give it an opportunity to cool, and then we'll check back with it in a few minutes. If it turns out that you underestimate the time, which we did, it's very simple to just put this back into the oven at 2 2-minute increments until you get it the way you want it to be. This is pretty much the way we want it to be. It will firm up a little bit as it gets cool. But one thing I would caution against, don't blot it with a paper towel, or your paper towel will glue itself to your bacon. And as Alton Brown would say, that's never good eats. This is ready now. And it is delicious. Thank you for joining us at Colebrook Kitchen.